ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
Hello and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. Pansy and Lee have swapped and chopped and changed on the desk, of course still joined by Vendetta, and we're going to be breaking down your second set of games. Now SK versus Mousesports is this game, and it's going to be an interesting one. Both teams are incredibly in need of a win, is a nice polite way of putting it. They're actually 9th and 10th on the standings at this point in time. Mousesports have played a little less though, I can tell you now. Yeah, Mousesports have played a fewer games. You can see they're 6-2 for 6, and SK a whole lot more losses at 3-4-9. I'm just going to open the floor up to you guys and start the discussion. More so with Mousesports. We've discussed SK a little bit more recently. Mousesports, however, is a name I'd like to address and spend some time talking about. I'll start with you, Vendetta.
Yeah, no, Mousesports are a team that definitely should have a better record than what they're currently sitting at in the Pro League, and I think we all remember their games versus NIP, which they probably should have gotten away with 2 wins instead of 2 losses on.
Well, that's the big thing. The fact is that Mouse have played Fnatic, they've played NIP, they split 1-1 with NIP. The NIP games were not there, but they split 1-1 with Fnatic on Sunday in a fantastic game. So, you know, they're coming into this, it's Mirage and Cobblestone for them, so they're good maps, as long as they can forget the whole Luminosity thing with the win that they should have had. Yeah. You know, they beat NIP on Mirage at IEM as well, so, you know, these are very good maps for Mousesports. SK themselves, you know, obviously, we've talked a lot about them, they're not on a good streak right now, so Mousesports definitely the favourites coming into this one. Yeah, and
I'd absolutely agree with that, and I guess the only thing that's going to stand in the way of Mousesports is Mousesports, and it's come back to what
just like we were with G2,
Yeah, so if Mousesports can get over that hurdle of just making things hard for themselves once they near that 16th round, I think they should be okay on both maps.
And I do want to address that now. This is something I like to explore. When people are kind of already giving it to one team, saying it should be their team, I'd like to explore why we are saying that, right? So
because they're a better team.
Yes, okay, but that's great, but not so great for these guys. No. So if you wanted to kind of explain it in an interesting manner, one of these strengths would it be fair to describe, but not only Nico as a player, but his in-game leadership has taken a huge step in the right direction for Mousesports. Would you say at this point in time they're better than they've ever looked, or do you think there's still growth for the Nico in-game leadership?
I'm not sure how long the Nico in-game leadership is going to be around, seeing how they picked up Capio, who was supposed to be taking over the role of an in-game leader, you know, from the coaching role after Gabi got cut. So I'm not sure if that's something they're going to do before the major or if they're going to wait till after, because like you said, things have been on the up for Mousesports in general after Nico came in. But I think that's more due to the fact that we see Nico having absolutely ridiculous performances just individually
while leading, which usually we have this whole toss-up where you're going to struggle to be as great with a fragger if you're leading, but Existence is blowing that out of the water, Fallen's doing the same, you know. I think that whole tag is long gone.
But I still think it's something you can bring up because it comes down to how you're actually leading, right? So you can have a very puggy way of leading, you still have the tag as an in-game leader, but it's not necessarily going to affect you because you're not too worried about what the 4 other guys on your team are doing it every single time. And in the case of Fallen, you're an AWPer, so you can't be stationary at times to kind of go through everything in your head and then set up a plan for what you're supposed to do. So it does give you some sort of room to pre-plan your rounds, but no, it still definitely can have a impact on how you play.
And the problem is, if you look at obviously who they're up against, you know, SK are in a very similar position to Dignitas right now. They didn't have any look at the major qualifiers. They've also had the same problems in the Malmo qualifiers. They're literally in the exact same position as their Danish brethren right now on Dignitas, and they've just not had a very good last 2 weeks. Whereas Mousesports, you know, that win over Fnatic, while the first map was horrific for Mousesports, the second one, which was Dust 2, I mean, in all fairness, you know, it's the map you'd expect the likes of Nico and Chris J and Co to turn up on, was such a big boost for them. You know, they beat Fnatic. It's like, not every day do you beat Fnatic. No, so immediately they've got that win. And if they were to look at the losses, I mean, I was just obviously talking about G2 and FaZe with Semler, because obviously the league position they're in now. Yeah. You know, for Mouse, they're going to be looking at it and thinking, yeah, we're 2-6, but we've also played we've also played Fnatic. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure they've already played somebody else that's big in there. Might be Astralis or Envy. I'm not sure. But they've already played a lot of the tough opposition. So now they're in games where they're going to be looking at SK and thinking, yes, we can get 2 wins on the board here. We can send SK below us because at the moment Mouse are below SK in obviously because of wins. They're going to be looking at flip side. They're going to be thinking, actually, we could probably get maybe a mid-table spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, flip side, Virtus Pro, these are all wins that a lot of teams are picking up without too much trouble. And so when you've done the hard ones, you've got these lovely games waiting for you around the corner. They could be looking pretty good in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
That's a very good point you've made. This, however, is one of those games. This is SK. This is where Mousesports
must-win for both.
To pick up. Yeah, for both, exactly. And talking about SK a little further then while we do have time, you're coming into a map like Mirage, Mousesports infamously quite strong on. Where do the strengths lie for SK? What can we look forward to? Freeze, actually, I have to highlight as a player because he's been picking up that main AWP much more consistently than we'd seen in the past.
Well, Modi also the other day, they played Mirage, was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I can't remember. It's all blending into one, but they played the other day, and Modi went huge on... I believe it was the T side. He went huge on and then disappeared on the CT side.
He was very impressive.
I think he got like 21 kills on the T side and then like next to nothing on the CT side. So he was definitely a big player for them on the T side. They had a good T side, but they just couldn't lock it down on CT.
We've seen a lot from Modi on T side. Like that cash game yesterday, he was very, very strong against G2. You just play Sunroom and be a nuisance. Keep your eyes on Modi then.
Yeah, no, and another player who normally plays pretty well. The last time I tried to highlight him and saying, look out for this guy on Mirage, went horribly wrong. But Pimp is a player that normally shines on this map.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you look, like you're talking about obviously SK, you look at their last results, which you were just doing. The last sort of results, you see obviously the tier 3 teams they smash, but they come against tier 1 team, they get destroyed. So it's but they're against. We could call Mouse a tier 2. They're on the
they're tier 2.
Precipice of breaking through, but they're tier 2. So this is probably an equal footing.
I mean,
Cobblestone's definitely going to be a good one for them, though.
You just look at those recent results. You've got Mousesports who've picked up a win against G2 and Fnatic recently, and then you look at SK who have conceded a loss to Tricked, a Danish team. We managed to catch some of that game here on the desk.
Into overtime and stuff. Yeah, it was horrific.
Best of 3 against a Danish side with much less recognisable names. Of course, Tricked, they actually conceded that one. They've also lost recently to G2. They've lost to them in a best of 3.
To Ancients, obviously Pronax's new team.
They've had a lot of problems, SK, and I think it's safe to say there hasn't been much time for development and growth since that last game.
No, but also we have to consider the fact that teams go into slumps, so it's not necessarily something fundamentally wrong with what they're doing. It's just they're not winning the same duels they did 2 weeks ago, that type of thing, and that can turn around pretty quickly. We did see it. There's no way an SK like that we've seen on Mirage would win a game like they did versus FaZe on Cash, right? So it's very, very hard to say when they're actually going to come out of that slump, but it can happen at any time. So while they're going up against a team that I would just overall say is better than SK, it's still not out of their reach.
You could break it down to obviously the AWPers as well. You're looking at Chris J versus Freeze. It's like, how's that going to work out between them?
And again, we talk about this with SK. Consistency is a big issue, and Freeze is the kind of guy who can either get you 25 kills with the AWP and hit crazy shots, or just being super stable and getting that first frag of a round, making your job so much easier for an entire game, or he can basically be invisible. And it's the same thing with, like you said, with Modi.
Chris J can disappear as well, though. He's had his time,
I think the good thing for Mousesports as of late, though, is that Nex has been playing progressively better. So even if Chris J drops off, Nex is there to pick up the pieces. And he even did so when Nico, surprisingly, hasn't had the greatest of performances. So
and now, this is actually, I love that discussion point with Nex, right? So the storyline for Mousesports is that Nex has always had really bad showings at offline or major events, right? That's always been kind of
when he's been with Mouse. With Penta, he was fantastic.
Good point.
For the one major.
For the one major.
One event. But in general, I mean, Columbus is not too far away, a week or two, and we are now in the state where, Nex, let's gauge his form. Let's see what form he, because we know Nico's can deliver at the major. We know that's just how Nico rolls. He's just like, I guess I'll play some more CS.
You've just jinxed it. Just done it.
But Next, right? Like this is his time to hopefully give us some sort of indication of where he's going to be. It is online. It's not the major, but all eyes are going to be locked on Next because you want to see where that player is at, because we know the potential that he has. A lot of times people were like, when his name was kind of rising, when he was getting into these teams, people were starting to say he's going to be where Nico is at now.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the next big thing out of Germany because talking history-wise.
Big thing.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, next big thing, right?
Oh, I was sitting there like, what's he talking about? Light bulb.
Yeah, no, but Germany has had a pretty rich history in the CS, within the CS franchise. So we've always been used to having a top German team, and Nex was supposed to be the one who was going to lead the cavalry.
I mean,
from
consistency is the big thing. That's the big word, really, at the moment. And it's the same for, you could say the same for Spiddy. I remember 2 weeks ago we were in the UK, and there was one game where he just didn't show up. The next game he was dropping 30. It was just like, what's the difference here? Yeah, what is going on here? Absolutely different. So, I mean, that is the big thing for both Mouse and SK. Consistency is a real issue right now.
Yeah, so predictions, guys. Map 1 is going to be Mirage. Do we have any faith in SK, or are we going to lean towards the Germans?
I'm going to say 2-0 for Mouse.
Boom.
Yeah,
same
thing.
Okay, well, SK haven't given us much reason to believe at the moment, and rightfully so. The stats don't lie, and neither does the DAS. They're believing a 2-0. Let's see if SK can prove us wrong as they clash with Mouse in their first game.
Thank you very much for the indirect throw. Wow, Alex didn't even intro us. Yeah, don't worry, just roll with. No, okay, he's it's not right. It's not right. Otherwise, he got thrown off. There was no direct throw. There was no Semmler and Pansy combination.
I was waiting for the swoosh thing.
The swoosh. There is no swoosh.
There was no swoosh.
Cut the swoosh. It's over. It's dead.
So when there's no swoosh, I'm counting. It's all fine tuned, right? Down to like
Semmler's
2-3
on
seconds.
the millisecond.
I get the headset on. Camera goes live. There we go. I was just a little thrown off this time. No swoosh. So,
no swoosh.
I mean, do we agree with the desk, Pansy? Do you think it's going to be a 2-0 for Mouse? Do we think that Nico is going to wreck some Danish players tonight?
You know what? I reckon Mirage is going to be pretty one-sided. However, maybe Cobble, because SK do have a good Cobble, but I don't know if it's good enough. So probably a 2-0.
Probably a 2-0.
Yeah. Unless Magic turns up again like he did against Na'Vi on Cobble and single-handedly smashed in that, but I haven't seen that Magic in a while though. He's been not as consistently ridiculous, which is, I guess, hard to kind of aim for.
He's been proven a fraud.
Yeah. Oh, sick observing rush. Clip that wall. Of course, do you remember Rushly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is giving us the 360 no scope here. But yeah, your thoughts on these two then? Because the desk was kind of breaking it down that Mouse are favoured in this one quite drastically, but SK have something. They have some players that can bring a little more to the plate, but it's been relatively absent.
It's just it's going to be one of those games, I think, where Mousesports should win. I don't think it's going to be a crushing defeat. I think that SK have enough firepower. Like, they're even enough across the board, apart from Nico, as far as firepower is concerned. Nico is basically the best player on this server, flat out, hands down, no discussion. Nico's like, I mean, if he keeps playing, if he keeps playing at this level, he's got a chance at making like top 10. Basically out of the year, because he's just ridiculous how he just dominates and does everything on this team. He calls and he's like, okay, I got an entry frag now. He entry frags and then he clutches and he just does it all for Mousesports. So Nico, he's a force of nature. They're gonna have to see if they can actually deal with him here. SK.
Well, for once we're not seeing the Deagle coming out either for Nico. That was always a nice factor, even though he would just like pick it himself, no armor to roll with, but. I don't know, Mouse just taking straight up fights, just bursting through, two players hitting up the utility, one being Nico, of course, and Speedy, the other just going to smoke out the basics in A and then just play for it. Bomb is down already. And Magic on the retake going to be doing a little bit of damage, spots out another, but can't get too far in that one. Now one shot going to be real comfort for Chris J. And now down to a 2v1 though, but that bomb plant is going to be pretty treacherous. And Pimp thinks it's all about connector right now, and it's not. It is planted for, I guess, that classic short, but easily peeked out by Ramp.
Yeah, the kit's over here in the smoke. It's not going to be enough time, though, Pimp. It's not going to be enough time. He sees him. He knows the game is up, and they aren't even going to let him get on there. Easy round here for Mousesports in the end. With that after plant, they play it perfectly. They don't show themselves. There really isn't too much hope there for Pimp. And so we have a pause coming in from SK due to a microphone problem. Thanks, everybody who tweeted me during the break. It is a Royal Paladin. It's like €250 for a factory new stat track, though.
Really?
So I don't know if I'm going to be doing that.
I like it, but it's like, I know the way I play, right? Like, my graphics are all on, like, horrible quality just because of habit. Even though I definitely don't need to lower graphics at this point, but it's like, I don't like it in the lower graphics. I think it looks beautiful, and you get everything looking stunning. It, like, really looks nice, yeah.
That's the problem, is, like, you got to have at least, like, what is it, shader detail?
Shader details
up high.
up high.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because I know Alex was going shopping for new skins, and he was looking at that one, but I don't think
Paladin, it looks
factory
dope.
new.
I'm just a fan of the
the
metallic skins, man. Like, you
Oh,
know,
like
I have
the
the
cartel,
basilisk,
huh?
I have the cartels. Like, I love all those kinds of skins. I'm a big fan of.
I like the way they look. Not necessarily like real. I guess real is like a wrong word almost, but they look a little bit closer to like the classic in a way. It doesn't look so like
A little
out
bit
there.
more realistic.
Yeah.
Maybe not
it's
the
quite nice.
basilisk, but the cartels. Like the whole point is like, you know, you just found some Mexican drug lords, you know, stash.
Yeah, it's sick. Absolutely sick. I do like them. I think I still got the P250 as well.
P250 is pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dualies.
The Julies, yeah, true.
Get out, Matt. You guys can't hear that, but the producer's saying it's all about the lime green guns. The thing is,
Stop
he
it.
comes from like COD Halo, you know, so.
He's just sitting there going, green wall optic. It's disgusting. Can't even make it to the majors. He sat there having to draw his own little stickers at home, like, one day, boys, we'll make
Wow. You actually managed to roll that into like a multi-burn with our producer and Optic. Well played, Pansy.
Thank you. I'm learning. You know, you've been around these shooters for a while. It kind of starts rubbing off a little bit. I'm just like, all right.
Well played. I'm
And,
impressed.
Well, he can at least, you know, transfer over to phase. If he wants to phase up a bit, he could maybe go for that. Maybe not after what he's witnessed today.
You like this?
Just like that. Just like that.
Sorry. See, Matt was caught sleeping. He could have come back for like a really sick, you know, like
He
moment
could've.
there.
He could have gone for something.
But
you know?
instead, he's probably just, you know, like leaning back in his chair, daydreaming. Optic someday.
Shazam, please. Well,
Don't get kicked.
I was trying to like avoid that. He's like straight
I mean,
up bam.
Where are these rumors coming from that Shazam is going to get kicked off the team? Like Mo,
and
Steele, both of them
Steele.
sounded really, really convinced that
It's
he
like
was
stirring the pot
going
as
to get
ever.
the axe there.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh man, the thing is though, Shazam's so nice in person, but then so many people have issues with him online. Like every time he comes into discussion, it's like, oh.
Oh yeah, you talk to
Little
some of
guy.
the older dogs on the North American scene, and it's like the stories you hear about Shazam. It's like,
Yeah.
how have you not been shanked at a LAN yet? How is I imagine like somebody at least tried to break your fingers at some point. No, really?
But the thing is, he's so nice in person. Like it's weird. It's just like, how can you be like this? I don't know. But these are online rumors. Maybe deep down, he's just like a sweethearted
He's a
guy.
kind soul.
That's it. You can't read too much into Global Offensive
But
subreddit
that's
when
the
Mo's
thing,
involved.
Pansy. You know, they
Tell
can
me.
be the real monsters because they don't even know what they're doing.
That's the worst part.
Monsters.
To be fair, that's the theme of all my guns at the moment. Or like
What, monsters?
Mm-hmm.
Monster names.
Yeah.
Really?
So, it's my new thing. Yeah. So I was in love with the Fire Serpent for like years. I was like, I need to get that gun.
Okay, the 5.7 or what?
Fire Serpent.
Ah, the Fire
I
Serpent.
love
okay.
that thing. It's
The
too
Fire Serpent.
pretty.
Which one is that? Is that the Glock?
The AK.
The AK. Oh yeah, that whole Mayan thing. Right,
Yeah,
right.
I think it's so pretty. So pretty, and then the hype.
That
beast,
is one of the
course.
cooler skins out there for sure.
Yeah, I think it was like a nice theme. I haven't seen too many of those at the moment. Like I want to see more of that sort of style.
But you see, that's like more of the realistic style, right?
But I like that though on the cartels because they have like the skull on it that's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that sort of vibe as well. Skins, man.
Right.
We could be talking about the game, but it's like skins and Shazam.
Kraken.
What? Oh, the AWP? Not the AWP, the shotgun.
Oh, the
Yeah, I do.
Oh, she does.
It's when I go full JW on Cobble. It's like I have to kind of embrace the Kraken JW style and just fly down drop. Even if I don't have the spawn, it's like that naivety going, don't worry, guys, I got this. I'll make up for it.
That sawn-off strat just really, because it's so situational, right?
Exactly. And it never works for me. Because I'm the idiot who buys it with no real reason apart from the fact that I just kind of want to.
Where the hell is this LBRB coming from?
Rush is the controller plugged in. Because it's how you get those
Sweet
smooth sweeps.
Mother of God.
Stop it.
No, really.
Can you please put on that You Spin Me Right Round song? If you're going to do that.
Right round. Na, 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 na. Damn straight.
This is the
Fancy.
longest pause for a microphone I've ever seen.
This is just really annoying.
Yeah, it
like,
is. There's like
let's-
nothing to it. It's round one. It's just like,
Yeah, it's round 1, and we have a pause coming in because somebody messed up their microphone. I guess they were so hype about losing the pistol that Pimp pulled something out, like broke something on his headset somehow.
That's it. The old pimp's returned.
He
Everyone
stood up
thought he's
to
better.
rage,
Yeah.
and unfortunately like the cable was caught under the wheels
Oh,
of
not
his
the chair. No,
right?
it's the worst feeling.
Yanks it off of his head, and now he had to go get his spare headset because of course all pro players have like 20 headsets. Swag YOLO.
I miss that team. It was a good team. There's another word at the end of that one, but I'm not D-Man. I'm not gonna say it. All right, we're back underway. Mousesports 1-0 up at the moment, picking up the pistol. And Pimp has rejoined us with a brand new headset, a brand new attitude, and he's ready to take on Mousesports, who are just going to go in and smash with rifles.
Oh, I was thinking there might be the peak there, but it's Madi actually catching out Nico. And they are just trying to move in together as a unit here, Mousesports, hoping to be able to, just find some shots. And there, finally, Nex is going to be able to catch somebody out. That's Mousesports down. There's the big spray coming in, clearing out the site. Dennis with the follow-up, keeps his cool, gets the job done. And so a 1v3 with Madi, and Madi might be able to do this because there's 15 HP total between the two players that are left alive here for Mousesports.
They let this get way too close. Somehow Chris J is at least going to get that bomb down, but Madi, as said, he's got armor and a UMP. Oh my god, Nex just steps out on it. Brave play, I guess, when it works. Insane when it doesn't, but just about keeping that round together. But that was costly as hell. There was 4 rifles, I think, up on that.
How did they just did a really good job of going for the shoulder peaks, SK, getting those random headshots in. Mousesports weren't able to compensate.
The pistol dream.
The pistol dream.
Sorry, guys, I'll just sit on A with the CZ. It'll work, I promise. It's like the naive thing I tell myself every single time I do it, when really I'm just baiting for kills. But SK have not absolutely nothing. There's a Deagle and a P250, I guess, but this might be a little bit too tough. But a good read. Mousesports, a hell of a lot of times, if you watch their games back, do like these B hits on full buys as well. It's not something uncommon. They'll generally do like a 3-2 split, 2 through wraps, 3 through short, but at the moment, just going to try and step out on this. A little dangerous, as there are so many players here. Yeah,
this is full stack mode, basically. Nade is going to be somewhat effective. Madi's going to have to cool it and get out right below the window. But with the P250, if they come jumping out and they don't look the right way, could go poorly for them. Where is it? There we go. Spot on short. Dennis, he's still keeping point. And even with the stack, Magic Boy is going to take out Madi. There's the team kill. And this is like the slowest disintegration of a stack I've ever seen.
Piece by piece, it just crumbles down. Bit of a shame, I guess. Let's go in the right place, but fair to Mousesports, they didn't lose anyone. So actually, a round they needed. But Chris J's got the Mac 10. Is he going to stick on this, or are you going to upgrade Chris? Yeah, okay, he's going to buy a P250. Solid. That's what you'd normally do. But Mousesports, the one thing I actually really do like is how they play. Is generally their mid control. It doesn't seem to be an initial factor in this. We're going to have a bit of a split up, but it'll be Dennis and Nex to try and gather that. Pimp going to go in for the challenge. 2 smokes towards short coming through very quickly. And look at this play. Mousesports speeding up around mid. They're going to try and take an early fight towards Connector while Nico and Speedy try and work through ramp. But look at Asilian. He's right next to like 3 players here. No one's checked this. The smokes have covered it, but Dennis finds an angle to spot him out. Pop Flash goes through, and they are piling in towards his site. And a beautiful pinch here from Mousesports is going to gift them pretty much control, barring Pimp.
Pimp is actually on a mission right now. He's just going to be sitting here. His mission is to stay alive. And unfortunately, he's the only one who heard that mission on his team. Everybody else is dead, and they're going for the wallbang onto him. They're so close to taking this guy out. He's still going to get 1 kill, but that's it. Nico shuts him down. No joy, no pleasure for Pimp. Just 4 rounds to the face of Mousesports' dominance.
I really like that smoke play towards mid as well. Like the deep smoke towards short is pretty much all like set.
I don't like that he uses the jump smoke to do it, or the jump. I mean, that's what he's doing, right?
Oh, is that the actual jump smoke
he's
as well?
doing the jump smoke, but
dangerous, I guess, if it fails then.
Well, that's the point. It can't. Like it's 100% smoke, so it's a little dumb. I'm not a big fan of the jump smoke, and even this like workaround where you're hit 2 keys somewhere. It's not a jump. It's the same thing.
Right.
Stop. But whatever. Mousesports use that to block off short very quickly. Move straight up connector. They don't get pulled. They don't get caught out. That was really nicely done. Actually, the big pick onto Asilian there in connector, not letting him pull a fast one on him.
And as well for Mousesports, considering Nico's the in-game leader, it's weird because he almost plays solo on this map. He'll be at the extremities, right? He'll be trying to push through B or trying to hit that palace and like all the time. It does leave a gap on ramp, which I'm pretty sure SK's found out, but this is still pretty impressive that Mousesports is kind of 4 players now having to work their way through mid without their in-game leader, seeing what they're doing, how they're playing, and they're again looking towards A initially on this, but Chris J's the one with the bomb, so keep your eyes on him at the moment because he is certainly not with them here in connector.
No, he's about to get backstabbed by Magisk. Magisk! Not going to hit the third. Oh, he gets the second. There we go. And that was actually with the help of Freeze as well. Now he's got a gun to go and play with. 3-on-3 situation. The bomb. Just run, Chris. Just get into T-spawn. Run away from where the baddies are. And you know what? That's the thing. That's what Nex decides to do, right? He's got big muscles. He's like, you're picking on my little bro? Because Chris is a little bit of a skinny guy, right? He's like, you're picking on my bro. And then just went and messed him up.
I don't think I could ever see like SK as the bad guys though. I'd see like little Pimp's face like, please don't do it. Don't do it to me. 5-0. This is a harsh scoreline to be seeing, but we have a double AWP, so Magic and Freeze going to pick that one up. I'm not sure about Magic swapping. I haven't seen much of it. Maybe I could have been missing this, because I don't really pay too close attention to Magic unless he's got that rifle where he's like such a sick player, but this could be a nice little way to work around it. Maybe he can actually anchor out that B site pretty well, considering Mousesports. Well, there you go. There's the answer on that. Chris J just says, no, nice try. I'm the primary AWPer for a solid reason at the moment. And again, Mousesports looking more kind of controlled towards B this time, as there is no lurk towards A, no presence from Nico. And it's going to be Pimp and Asilian waiting if they do go for this.
Yeah, with a minute 15 left, there's plenty of time here for Mousesports to wait out the smokes as well. But they've done a pretty good job so far. Pimp has got a smoke still. He's not on that side. I mean, he is actually on that side. He's got that smoke to follow it up, but there's Asilian getting wall banged down, and now the push begins. Asilian just annihilated by Chris. Pimp is there. He's got the op, and he does manage to play the angles correctly. He backs off, gets a second kill in there, and they just aren't able to punish this guy. Finally, they catch him. But he did too much damage. Those 2 kills give Freeze and Madi a small chance here. Freeze through the window. He's in kitchen already. There we go. Catches out Dennis, and there it is. Now the retake is on. Madi and Freeze, they can still do this.
Yeah, Spitty's pretty far away and still paranoid about mid, but he's pulled himself back through. Both players are going to come through kitchen. One part mollied off, now dissipated. Pop Flash comes out. Nex is completely blind, but he finds cover in the smoke. He's right next to the players, though. Modi makes his way through, and Modi on the retake. Set up so perfectly by Pimp earlier in that round, and the rest of them just capitalize on what was set up so well.
And there's the big play. That's all off of Freeze, basically. Freeze and Madi coming in big. Freeze with the 1 kill, catching Dennis out on the site. That was huge, actually. Dennis, willing to face the window like that, was taking a risk. And so that works out perfectly for SK. They get off to a good start. Also, we got to give credit to Pimp as well with the 2 kills from the site itself. I mean, it was a nice attempt from Mousesports, but the defense this time around, too fierce. But Pansy, what happens next?
Could just go straight on the reset, to be fair. SK could be screwed on this one. That's the horrific part. It's like, okay, we got the first, but please, dear God, can we string this together now?
Yeah, and then, Danska, they'd be, Odin, Father Odin, please have mercy on us, on your Valhalla warriors. I have no idea what
was that?
Well, they're Scandinavian, they're Danish.
Oh, okay.
The Danes were crazy Vikings that took over the world for a while,
Yeah. Right now, though, they're not doing so well against Chris J, sadly. Maybe many a moon ago. Traded out eventually, so I guess they're going to know this is probably that mid to A hit that was coming through, but kind of fizzled out to nothing now. SK just need to kind of weather the storm almost at this point.
They need to try and play patient and hope that Mousesports get impatient. But so far, Speedy and Next, they've got 2 players holding in mid. They're going to be waiting for somebody to go for the peek on info. That's the problem here, is that SK, they have very little information as to what is going on in the mid of the map. But they are making the correct call. They're rotating over, and with 45 seconds left, that bomb is about to make its way across through jungle. Nex is just barely going to make it here in time, and with all 4 players here for SK Gaming, they stand a fair chance at the retake. They have the utility as well. It's just all these smokes, and there's still a couple of flashes on Chris J as well. You can buy even more time with this. This could get a little annoying, a little touchy here.
But look where Chris J is going. He's going around the world, so the rest of the players need to buy time and ensure that no defuse comes even close. But now with SK doing that fast retake, this actually gets more deadly, and they don't know that yet. But if they can isolate those players on ramp, this could be sick. But now Chris J's getting there. Slowly but surely the smoke does go down. He knows there's going to be no one there, and there's Chris J coming into the mix. Finally takes down Asilian, follows up onto Pimp, and this is risky, but it could work out. 3 seconds though. Magic covers off Spitty, and Chris J can't hit the shot. He only found Magic, and the bomb was defused. Great play from Freeze, and I guess just SK keeping a touch of utility with them kept them in that retake.
That single smoke, basically. That's why you try and hold on to that 1 smoke when you're going for that retake. Put that down on the bomb. I mean, you have to give it to Chris. He gets 2 kills, and it wasn't quite clear, it seems like, where they were getting shot from. So he had that element of surprise. It was just a little bit later that, Pimp was like, wait a second. Went back to peek into mid. Chris was there. But once that smoke is still standing, Chris, it's the worst weapon to have. You want an AK in that sort of situation where you just get a good spray off right into the smoke.
One and done, not exactly how you want to be facing that through. So, all right, SK don't get reset. There was a costly round, but a round they won nevertheless. So they can build off this now. But Mousesports had a little bit of bank build up by them after such a clean start. So straight back on the bite, but Nico warping this time. Chris J just down to the rifle.
Curious, because they're still here. I mean, look at Madi's position, though. This is really nicely done here by SK Gaming. They flashed him into Palace very early on. He goes in there, clears it out, says nobody is here, so they rotate a 3rd man onto the B site. So the defense, it's going to be tough to crack here for Mousesports. There's an extra man that they have to deal with, and Freeze already dropping Dennis to start.
Magic holding the... Oh, this is lovely. A nice little boost up, gives him a nice angle towards the window. Doesn't catch anyone off yet, but while this happens, Mousesports are actually out on the site here, but Magic's still alive. Is going to make it so much harder to get full control. Bomb might just be going down pretty soon, but Christian gets caught. That's the bomb now loose. SK, brilliant positioning, is paying off. The information gathered by Modi does do the work, but Nex and Spitty aren't going to let that slip just yet. It's a 3v2, but there's still a chance maybe, but Asilian's in a good spot.
Yeah, it's Asilian who's going to be the linchpin here. Because he comes in through B apartments. There's just too many angles for Mousesports to worry about. He picks the perfect timing to step out, takes out Spitty, and now Nex, he's caught in the triangle of doom. He doesn't even have the bomb ticking. So with 25 seconds left, I mean, if they really want to be cruel about this, SK, they could even let him go so far as to plant the bomb or like a try to plant before they all pounce on him. But Freeze decides to go for a safe peek from short. Yep. Catches him out. And so SK right now, they're bouncing back. And this is off of them taking the initiative in the round. Flashing Modi into Palace, get the info. Okay, nobody's here on A. We know that Mousesports like to go B. Let's rotate that extra man over to be safe, and it works out perfectly for them.
It has. I'm pleased to be seeing it for SK. They're a team that I think can have a shot at Cobble, but if they do well on this one, this is a really good beginning. But Mousesports going back to what's almost the standard A by this point, but maybe just going in ahead of their smokes and putting them down once they get presence towards ramp. See how they go for this one. It's going to be Asilian and Modi on towards A. Pimp and Magic's kind of maybe working out there's not really anyone here, and now here comes the push. Asilian's already found one. Modi's guarding ramp with his life, and that is a great bit of crossfire work coming out. And one by one, Mousesports realizing maybe we do need those smokes and those flashes to break into this site so late in the round.
They're trying to go for a sneak play, basically. What a round from SK, though. That defense from Asilian and Modi was perfect. But yeah, Mousesports try to pull a fast one, basically. You know, sometimes you see those teams, they try and lurk their way through the smoke, or or just try and time the nades that they just come through. So there's a minimal amount of warning for SK for the defense on that A site. Only issue is Modi and Asilian this time, they just weren't caught off guard, and it was only the two players coming through the smoke as well. The third man through was pretty late behind it, so it was like one after another after another. There was a large gap in between, so it just allowed for Asilian to peek, then Modi, then, they need to go through like, bam, all five of us, rushing straight up, no fear, no time for you to adjust. You're going to get one of us, but then we're going to trade immediately, and that just wasn't there for Mousesports.
So Mousesports are just going to do the pile into B with Tech 9s, and it actually can be pretty deadly, especially when they're already hitting shots. There you go, there's the second, and SK kind of caught sleeping on that one, not taking that early information, maybe a little hesitant, maybe not want to give up guns early on in the round, but it does give that window of opportunity now for Mousesports as Freeze trying to hit the shot towards Van, can't get it done, and Asilian late on the rotate, can't quite get the control on short that he's going to want, as Dennis looking for the fight. Dennis is low though, so maybe not ideal for Dennis here, but he does now know where Asilian's coming from.
Yeah, they get the info, and that's the important bit. Now he can he can just shoulder peek Asilian all day long if he wants, really just kind of play around. There you go. Just keeps peeking, just keeps dancing around, and he's so hard to hit with the Tech 9. He's like a little race car. Like one of those RC cars, right? And Nico's got the remote control. He's like, go, Dennis. Bzz, bzz. I mean, Dennis is just whipping around these corners, and Asilian decides, I've had enough of this. I'm going to back off and try and hold on to my gun, because right now, my team, myself, we're a little low on funds. So having 3 guns at the end of this round would actually be pretty good here for SK.
Freeze.
Wow, not a single one dies as well.
He saw like 2 cross. I guess he doesn't want to give away his position either, and the chance of losing that AWP is pretty high if someone just goes into ladder and with a Tech 9 and flies through, but still, ouch. But Chris J, what a good start for him. It's been a while since I've been able to say that, to be fair, especially with the AWP. It's been a little bit of a long time coming, but a good beginning for him, and that's exactly what most Mousesports fans would want to see. Nico's been the headline star, but maybe Chris J finding a bit of confidence is always a good way to go. But this looks like that quick mid-take that worked out quite nicely before. However, this time Pimp's going to be playing a little close towards short. Freeze is completely smoked out, so Mousesports will have run of mid for this, well, until those smokes dissipate.
I mean, they're flashed in the pit right now, Asilian. He's got a chance. This is going to be interesting. There it is, the follow-up flash. Peek for info, nobody there. Again, do they rotate Freeze over to kitchen early, or do they decide to focus a little bit more on mid? Because there's still a lot of mid presence here for Mousesports. This is where it's different. All these nades going off in mid kind of throws a little wrench in things here for SK. They're like, well, usually if they're going to go B, there's like one guy top mid. There aren't 2 or 3 of them chucking nades around. So, just a little variation coming out here from Mousesports, but it's enough to keep SK Gaming guessing, and that's really good for Mousesports. It means that, they aren't going to have to deal with that solid defense, especially if Chris J tombs Freeze to begin with.
And that's going to be the go signal for Mouse. If they know that Freeze hasn't cheated over here early, brilliant stuff. Can't quite get down. I think that was Pimp then, but there you go. Nex and Spitty pick up the slack, and they have that B site completely under wraps. Modi and Asilian, the standard A defense, kind of a little late on this one. And wow, Nex hitting a stunner. Modi getting punished for that peek with the AWP. And now Cillian going to just try and stay alive and keep that AWP in play for SK because, well, a nice little adaptation from Mousesports that round, really. He's going back?
Wow.
Why?
He's going to be... yeah, he's going to have some trouble here. Get out! Get out! He needs to run. But there's nowhere to run. He's been boxed in, Fancy. There's no hope.
Oh,
especially
God.
if Nico's going to style on you. Like, just straight deke shot. Okay.
Cillian, please.
That's where it's really frustrating, though, because had they held... Okay, ideal world, right? They hold on to 2 guns. Pimp and Magic Boy, they're like pretty solid. Instead of getting a FAMAS, Magic Boy has an M4, maybe a kit. Same goes for Pimp, right? So a little frustrating that, you know, they're like, okay, we have the money to buy, guys, but it could have been a better buy.
And now you got to think that B site is even weaker than prior. They have limited utility to work with. Pimp has absolutely nothing now, so mid's up for grabs. Freeze will have the AWP at least, so that's something that they can kind of look towards placing. But Freeze has to be pivotal in this unless someone goes man mode. But Nico and Modi can have a lovely little duel here. These two going head-to-head is going to be fantastic. Last time, Modi actually won it out after being flashed in. And now he does it again. Now spots out Nico. That's normally what happens when you get that A hit coming through. But Freeze has already gone over towards B. Flash comes in. Magic's completely blind. Dennis overpowers. And it looks like they're going to go quickly off the back of this. Or at least Dennis is, but will the bomb follow?
Oh, no. Is he going to be able to... I mean, did they have it smoked? They have a flash. They have something here to create some space. No, Freeze misses the shot. Does he get the second one? I mean, third time's the charm, Freeze. There's the bait, there's the peek, and Freeze hits the shot. Perfect. Now there's the man advantage, a 2-man advantage now. Freeze is just lining up kill after kill. They've turned it all around here, SK. Spitty, he's going to come into the play with the AWP. He might be able to go for the follow-up as well. Misses it, though.
Oh, what?
What
but
the
he
hell?
doesn't miss that shot. It's down to a 1v2, but this one's already snuck towards the side. That being a Cillian, good positioning from him. Spitty has no idea of this. The flash comes out, but Spitty trying to make a bit of a unique play here. And
You can do it, Spitty.
well, he doesn't have the bomb, and Cillian's position just kind of comes out on top. But 6 shot to follow up with towards Kitchen.
We'll give him that.
Yep. After the whiff that came through a couple of rounds ago. Yeah. Yeah. 5-7 though, Summoner. This isn't a bad score. Like,
Oh, for
For us?
Mousesports? No, this is... I mean,
Yeah.
Mousesports right now have got to be
T-side.
feeling pretty damn good. Especially because they get another chance to reset SK's economy for the last round. So, you know, this is a perfectly acceptable round as far as Mousesports are concerned. Single Tech 9 on Nico, but that's fine. He'll Shrek you anyway.
and Nico's changed it up. He's done with Modi pushing him. He's going to head to ramp instead. Why not? So now, Freeze with a bit of aggression there. Instead, Christian, I was like, Christian's not the one pushing mid, but no, Mousesports are on the T side, Lauren. It's actually Freeze taking a bit of a unique angle there, so that's going to give all the information. The B's completely clear for now. Freeze has cleared it. He knows they're not lining up. It's going to be all about mid, so where does Mouse play through? Do they try and take the fight towards short? They do, but now they're losing out, and here we go. Mousesports winning out in these fights here in the unique places, and Spitty just catching a Cillian, leaping above that smoke, but Freeze around the back. And the bomb's on Chris J. But will he spot him? He spots him now. Needed to land that shot if they wanted a chance. Now it's just down to Magic.
Sick shot by Chris. That rotate around, that's a 180. He's focused on connector window. He manages to readjust his aim fast enough. Magic Boy with the longest spray of his life is not going to be able to get the kill. And so he's down to 66, eats a nade, only takes 5 damage from that, so it's not the end of the world, 6 damage. So now, however, he's in a bit of a tight spot. FAMAS in hand, he's got a 1v3 retake ahead of him here. And little does he know, Nex is just waiting for him. So there is the hard reset on SK's economy going into the 14th round. They're staring down the barrel of a double eco.
Yeah, this is a painful one. 1.8, 1.5. Ugh, what do you do on these? I like the idea of maybe Freeze getting a flash or a something. Nope. 1 P250 with Pimp, and that is all you've got. So almost a write-off this round for SK, and for Mousesports, not a bad way to get this one going. Really nice stuff from them now. The T-side signs look very, very strong here.
You curl up and whimper. That's basically what's happening here if you're SK. Because Nico has come to collect your soul.
Nico's so sick. It's unreal to watch this guy play, even of course against these rounds, with the game sense and the understanding. Already predicting the rotate around the back. And hey Modi, how you doing? Will you expect the 2 players pushing up towards mid to try and fight him?
He has 8 bullets, 4 each. Nope.
Nico!
He gets caught. It's a scary thing when you spray with that M4A1. Bullets are all gone so quickly. And then you got nothing to work with. But if they can save the M4 SK, actually, this would be really good for them. It's a small silver lining.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, yeah, Freeze, just go and sack yourself. Run in. I suppose try and draw attention to yourself.
Wouldn't be an awful plan. But they're actually both safe here. Mousesports aren't hunting for this.
No,
I guess they're worried about like a little sneaky defuse you had next and Chris J both holding on for super long. How's the money on Mousesports?
They aren't exactly very high on money right now themselves. So
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
probably thinking, if we throw away a bunch of guns, might come back to bite us in the last round. Let's just make sure that we have everything we need. They were going to buy anyway, so what's one extra M4?
Yep.
Still, I mean, we're looking at Mousesports with a 9-5 with that 4-round lead, and they could make it 10-5 on the T side of Mirage. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing for Mousesports.
Yeah, and good play from start to finish from them. There's been a few moments where, let's say, Asilian and Modi did some good work, but outside of that, occasional moments from Freeze. But the B hold's been a little bit here and there and everywhere, a couple of close rounds, but overall, Mousesports been quite dominant in this. And now with that full set of utility, I want to see how they kind of construct this round. They've got plenty of time here, and actually shown zero presence anywhere on the map so far.
Mm-hmm. Just taking full-on relax right now, Take it easy.
Well, if I was 9-5 up on T side, I'd be pretty chilled.
Yeah, just take it easy. SK Gaming are the ones who are feeling the pressure right now. They're feeling the heat. So Madi flashes in, but Nico's up in Palace right now, so he knows that Madi has pushed in. That's why he's pushing forward aggressively like this. He's looking to see if he can't catch somebody out of position here. He knows that Madi's going to be coming back from ramp, so this all comes down to timing. Madi kind of hopping around. He's going to get spotted, and there we go. A little bit of the game there. Hide and seek. And Nico just drawing attention to himself. Actually, it still keeps Freeze focused on Palace, keeps Asilian and Connector. They aren't pushing anywhere. They're still waiting. But now we're starting to run down to 45 seconds here. Mousesports, they need to go.
Yeah, and there goes their distraction factor. Mousesports, where do you head now? Is it, let's just kind of try and flex over towards B? Because already Freeze is thinking that. He's got himself into kitchen. Asilian's watching towards short. And Modi being the kind of last standing bastion of A might be a little bit late to this one because Mousesports are going to go for this B hit so far. A couple of flashes through towards the smoke, close to try and cut out whatever they can do. But Freeze now hitting a quick shot on this one is going to limit what they can achieve. But Dennis snuck through. No one was watching the window peek at the moment, but Magic trying to pick up the pieces as it was Pimp waiting ever so patiently by that van. Is going to pounce finally towards Chris J. Looked for a follow-up, but now time is of the essence. 8 seconds left. Bomb is in a bit of a spot, but recoverable.
No time.
No time. Ripperino.
Yep. Poor man is doomed. So it'll be 6-9 in the end for SK. And this is where Mousesports, they seem to struggle a little bit. It's like they're relying, we see this happen every now and again where they really heavily rely on Nico to have an impact in the round. He's all the way on the other side of the map. This is almost like some old Nip style kind of play here where it's like, hey.
Where's Get Right?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Get Right? Oh, we killed Get Right. Oh, it means the other 4 are on the other side of the map, right? And it's kind of like that with Mousesports sometimes where it's just like, where's Nico? Oh, he died in Palace. Okay, rotate over to B because that's where Mousesports are going to hit next.
Well, that's where Freeze exactly went.
And their team, Mousesports, like they just, instead of pushing once Nico's drawn attention to himself and there's that moment of hesitation on SK where they're like, oh crap, okay, Nico's here. Does that mean it's going to be A?
What's happening?
What's going on? They wait until he's dead and then it's just like, and then they just decide, okay, now push. But it's just like you're pushing into a team now that are set up and ready and waiting for you. Even if it was just 2 defenders, they're not distracted. They don't have anything else on their minds. They're not thinking about A site. They're just focused on locking you out of that B side at that point.
All right, SK, let's see if you do your standard pistol on T side. The 4-1 split, 1 buys utility, which is generally Asilian, I think. And 4 go Palace, Asilian smokes out, I think, just stairs. And that's all they ever do. So I'm wondering if Mousesports know this and go for this as well. Yep. Mousesports, why you go B? No.
They don't care. They're playing retake.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just take the A side. We don't care right now. That's fair enough.
That's some confidence from Mousesports basically saying, all right, we'll get our retake in. You guys can have A site. That's fine. Because the smoke goes down on stairs. Chris is going to spot them going down onto the site. And Dennis, look at that. He falls all the way back into CT as far away as he can get because he knows if they decide to push in behind this, he's going to be in a bit of a tight spot. And at least this way he can turn it into a series of duels if he plays the angles correctly. Walks out into the open, though, and he only gets the 2 kills.
Yeah, but Nico's been on the rotate since the very start of this. He's already around the back of Spawn, but he now knows that there's at least 1 player by CT. There's got to be maybe 1 on the side. Where are the others? SK is starting to move away from the side itself. There's still a hit on Chris J, but SK are picking up the kills. Nico a little late to the punch, but they're all exiting the site. Where is the bomb planted for at the moment? I'm not even too sure myself. I think it's almost default. So Chris J, he's defusing this and no one's there. And Freeze a million miles away, and SK just let Mousesports back into the site.
Was the bomb planted for CT, or am I like hallucinating?
I think you could see it from CT. I think it was like default plant.
Yeah, it was default first box, right?
Yeah.
So they run into jungle connector and take over jungle connector, and that's pretty much like the last place you want to be if the bomb is planted for CT. Interesting.
They do this run like that style every time. You'd think they'd have it like locked down by now, but okay. Okay, we'll see. And the other thing that is a bit of a consistent is generally it's Magic lurking over towards B, and then you get Modi over by Palace, but this time SK going to switch it up a little bit. So kind of forcing into this with those Tech 9s, the flashes, even though they did get that bomb down. Let's see what they can go for now. Okay, smoke's coming out. It's the close smokes towards the side, which I quite like. It does allow you that kind of like wall, which will bring those Tech 9s into a range where they really can thrive. But again, Nico holding a bit of a more passive angle, expecting this sort of play. He's going to line him up and knock him down. That's 3 already. Make it 4 for Nico. As SK having absolutely no luck here, no room to breathe, and with a bit of a stylish finish. Nico again hitting the ace there, 5 kills, and just SK theory crafting wise, not a bad plan. Bring it in so I can use those Tech 9s, but maybe taking the fight towards Connector, not the best idea in the world.
Well, they get I mean, what baits them into that is that. Well, no, never mind. Actually,
it's like there's sense. No, there's not.
No, well, yeah, they put that wall of smokes down. It's just that they never actually plant. So I mean, yeah, okay, I understand. Like if you kick off Nico, but like somebody's got to be sticking that plant while you actually have your smokes down.
Right.
Well, that's a sick display of spray control from Nico. Easy as that. And yeah, now Nico's just feeding basically off of these anti-ecos. He's just like, well, I wasn't up to 20 kills yet, boys. So you know, just got that out of the way real quick.
Thank you very
much. Look at this, up, down.
It didn't even stop. That's beautiful. I don't care if they had armor or not or whatever. It doesn't matter. That was just beautiful control. Wow. And there's your default coming out from SK. Magic towards B, Modi towards Palace, and SK try and take some mid control and work off if any of these picks work out. But there you go. Magic gets gifted a stance in this, or at least the beginning. Magic a little annoyed, clearly, at Dennis. Really, Magic.
Really? He really wants to make that point.
Yeah, he's adamant that that is known. But a good start. Finally getting the kill to the good for SK here.
Yeah, now actually SK have something to work with. Chris J's got his op, so we'll see. He's playing from CT right now, so if they do decide to wrap onto this side, it could get hairy for him. And Nico, of course, playing in jungle, but doesn't look like it for now, at least. Are they going to go back to a default? They've got 2 smokes and 2 flashes to execute with SK, so I think that's what's really kind of throwing things for a loop here. Do they decide to just go for a... They could just go for a jungle and a stair smoke and worry about Chris J being in CT with the flash. I mean, they could throw the 2 flashes from Modi, but Modi's up in Palace, so that's not ideal. I mean, running through, I guess they just want to just get the straight-up fight and kill.
Yeah. Nico's going to find out there's no one B, so I guess it's time for Spiddy to rotate pretty quickly. Yeah, Spiddy's on the way, but Chris J's seen it all now. SK are not quite out on the site yet, and that's maybe as to why Freeze wanted to get that shot done and dusted, clearing out all the corners, you know, Ninja, Dark, all these places. And they should get a pretty free plant in this, and actually, Mouse don't really have much of a shot in this round, so good stuff by SK by keeping this very clean. It gives them a shot towards the later rounds here.
Yeah, just interesting. They don't even attempt to put down any smokes or nades. Basically, they just walk right in there. So Chris J getting that shoulder bait, like just feeling the pressure, basically feeling the heat.
Again, though, SK put so much of their utility generally when they play this map into taking that initial mid control, which is fine. But then they do leave themselves with this like a smallish deficit when they do hit the A site. So there is a benefit and a loss to what they do. Right now, it worked out. Modi clearing out well as well. They need to get away from the site if he wants to keep this. Nico and Spiddy pretty far away. Spiddy's going to cut off the one player who's pretty close by, that being a Cillian. So Mousesports will keep the 2 rifles in this. And actually just Pimp and Freeze retaining theirs. Which is kind of questionable. Well, they can still buy, it's just not going to be perfect for SK. Could have been much cleaner.
Could have been, but I think right now SK are just like, we
Any
got a round, boys.
round.
We got a round. Let's do this.
Well,
Get fired up. Let's go. because any little thing that's positive for them at this point is a good thing. This is definitely, they've still got a little bit of a ways to go ahead of them here. Mousesports have more than enough for a full buy on their part. Change of angle in top mid, and that's Freeze. Puts the shot through, but he misses, it seems.
And there's 3 players now focusing directly on mid. You've got Chris J playing by, I think that's in ladder room. You've got Spitty in mid window, kind of being a bit more passive too, I guess waiting for the boost up. And then Nico as well, just playing through connector. So they've had enough of SK getting control of mid. They're going to leave maybe Nex and Dennis to solo out on the sides, as SK do themselves. So this is kind of like almost a mirror set. And you'd maybe bank on Mousesports in this one if they keep this sort of pressure up.
Oh, I think so. I mean, you have to bank on Mousesports regardless, right?
Yep.
Oh, there's the angle. And Chris J just casually takes that shot onto Freeze. Very nice, calm, cool and collected. I don't even think Freeze saw him.
Nope, probably not. Maybe just like the corner was shown and that's enough for Chris J. Spots another, but I think it might have been turned on that, but he will get the angle towards Chris J, so they have control on short. This is going to end up accumulating towards B, where Nex has been waiting, but he needs to slow this down or make it a little bit costly somehow. He's going to try and stay alive at this point. The smoke's actually worked in his favor to a small degree, allowing himself a chance of respite, but now he needs to pick up the pace as he's been picked up by Magisk, and we're down to a 3v4, and actually SK doing well. The retake, though, coming in for Mousesports.
Nice shot from Nico. He manages to turn it around. If anybody's going to get the job done, it's Dennis, it's Nico. They managed to roll onto this site. Asilian misses the flick, and now they know where he's playing from. Flashes are going to go out to make his life difficult. Oh, he just needed to pull the trigger. He nearly did it. This defuse is going through, and there really isn't anything that he can hope to stop it with. Yeah, Speedy, they all had kits as well, so kind of frustrating, especially after the good work, cracking onto that site. Chris J getting greedy. Greedy trying to hunt down that guy on shore with the AWP. And then, the follow-up after that, just, SK, that was a good bounce back, basically, to be able to get that kill onto Chris and just push forward onto the site. Unfortunately, Nico happened again, it seems.
Again, though, the player that I wanted to look at on Cobble, which was Magic, is currently not even breaking into double digits, which is strange for him, but Chris J going to feel a burn here, and Freeze will put him out of his misery, at least. Maybe a bit of an aggressive start for Chris after maybe being frustrated in that little exchange with Pimp in that prior round, but a recovered AWP for Nico. So not the end of the world.
He's still good. He can still, he's still win the hunt. He's perfectly capable, competent with the sniper rifle. So there's a smoke, a little bit of a one-way smoke attempt here from Dennis, it seems.
You're not sure. Oh, Nico. Moddy didn't respond to that though, so I don't know if he's actually noticed or heard that. And it looks like SK is slowly coming back around towards A. And if Nico just holds this, excuse me, actually could be really good by no doing of his own except for maybe a good intuition or just kind of that weird game sense where you just kind of understand what's happening. He could be in the right place at the right time, and Dennis could be the one caught out here. Freeze is going to be slowly working his way up short. Nico's put himself into sandwich with an AWP. That's terrifying, but Dennis is taking the fight. Now they know everything. Do not line up for Nico. He misses the shot, thankfully. The SK boys is now they're going to have a shot at this. Good work with the Tech 9, going to single them out one by one. Jumps up, gets Magic, and now taking the fight again. Goes to the AWP, can't make it work. And now, Freeze in a good spot here, coming through connector. Spots out Spitty, smoke goes down. Spitty going to take an instant fight towards Freeze, but 12 HP is pretty minimal here.
It's not a lot, and he just chucked out that flash. So he doesn't have anything to work with now. He just needs to cross his fingers and hope that he can catch Asilian out. And it's the slowest push through the smoke. And unfortunately, it just doesn't pan out. At least there's no op save. But Asilian has enough to just drive by one if he wants. He can drop that to somebody. He can drop that over to Freeze. So they can get the op. That means he wouldn't have a smoke, but he still has a flash and an HE to play with. Asilian, are you going to do it? Wow, no. They get
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked, you're right.
Freeze.
Yeah, there's like
you
Freeze.
could get me a nice little up, guys. UMP.
Yeah, not even an AK.
That's harsh. You'd rather have a smoke than give Freeze a proper weapon. I guess that's how we can read it. But again, Mousesports putting a lot of presence towards mid. It looks like SK have started to read into that and respond pretty accordingly. But it's now kind of pushing that through to a round win. You've still got at least the two players you can kind of pull back towards the site. Spitty this time on short's going to get the drop towards Pimp, being a little bit hesitant towards ladder room, then just wanted to check it a little further and got caught out. Bit of timing against him, but Spitty overzealously peeking, trying to get that nade through, but at the cost of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Better to stay alive than to just do 35 damage or whatever to your boy Asilian in mid. Nico, He is on a mission, though, and he's got an M4, so he is kitted out
Modi's
to do
moving
some
as well.
damage.
He's going to hear it.
Nicely done there by Nico. Modi, he hit the shot, but he just couldn't get the kill. Now the push begins here on the B side. However, rotation has come out from Chris J. He's got his AWP, and he's going to drop freeze to start. Asilian jumping right into Chris J's waiting arms. And next, mid-air, doesn't even let Magic Boy touch the ground. Beautifully done. Very nicely done there by Mousesports, and that's going to be a 14th round on the board for them. And that was a force out of Mousesports as well. That was that you know, like risky, the risky plays.
And it's strange, right? Normally if you see even T-sides picking up the first kill, right? Normally you see the T-side get the first kill, you're like, okay, well this is actually statistically a great start. It's normally up in the 70s, minimal 80s that you actually convert it to round wins. At the moment, SK is struggling to kind of make the most of these advantages, whether it's not, you know, players like Nico pushing and getting the information even though they are a player down and equating it back. It does mean it's quite difficult there for SK to close out these rounds. So anyway, back into this one. SK have very little to work with. So a rifle with Pimp, but the rest with the upgraded pistols, a little bit of armor here or there. And it seems like that A hit again. I think they might be the close smokes they are. So again, this strat that Nico last time dismantled, Freeze is going to get trashed here, let's be honest. And now if SK take the same fights, I'm going to be baffled. And again, walking straight into people.
They just need to get the bomb plant, focus on getting that bomb down, at least guarantee the money going into the next round. And Asilian, he does that much, but he's losing teammates all over the place. At least they pick up 2 guns now. And Pimp, he has pushed aggressively into CT. Asilian's there to set it up with him. Flash out, but nobody to be found. Instead, it's going to be everybody coming in here from jungle. And if Pimp, if he stepped close enough for Chris to hear that, that might have been a bit tricky, but I don't think he did. So he might be able to get that big backstab in.
Pimp needs to be quicker. That diffuser was coming out. And there it is. Again, so close yet so far. And that's going to put Mousesports onto map point. That was a shame. Pimp was in a really good spot if he had been a little bit quicker, I guess, on that, or kept a mindful, thought like they could full it. They're still, they've still got smokes and such.
Just, 2 on 4.
2020.
Yeah, 2 on 4. It's a really, really hard position for Pimp to find himself in, and as well as the man in CT. Like just Asilian, I believe, was the man alive. Yeah, that's really tough to hold off that push, especially because Mousesports, they all just went as a group. It wasn't like a bunch of duels. It's just like you're facing. And there's like 4 guys there. Like, oh, well, shucks. That sucks, and so does that. That sucks too for Asilian. Nico with the spray through on connector that drops the bomb. And just super swift end to this map in the end. Very nicely done there by Mousesports. SK, they did try to put up the fight, and a couple things worked for them, but Mousesports just looking too solid right now in this matchup on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. The first half, there was a couple of pieces of aggression there coming out between, like, your Modi and Nico battle that actually Modi won out a couple of times on, and it gave him a bit of a shot here and there, but eventually it kind of just stopped.
Petered away.
Yeah, it's like you start thinking, oh, this is going well, and nothing really comes of it. So, SK again, not the worst in the world, but it just feels like they're never quite capitalizing on some of the advantages they make in these games.
Let's go ahead and throw it over to the analysts and hear what they have to say.
Thanks so much enthusiasm there.
I know, right?
Thank you so much.
So ready.
By the way, I should do it like him. Hello and welcome back to the desk. It's good to have you here. We're going to talk about that game. What do you think about that one, Mirage?
Well, it was great.
Pretty exciting game.
Well, that's it. Bye. Anyway, enthusiasm back. Let's go ahead and talk about Mirage. We'll start with you, Halvor, because I think that they had a good point where like the dream wasn't dead for a while with SK. Like we were still kind of like 9-6 half.
You're kind of reeling us in, a little bit.
Modi's like, quite good on T side.
Yeah, no, it fell flat. And I don't know. I like the way Mousesports play their T side to a certain extent. You saw it at the end. They kind of went away from what they were successful with. They had a lot of success on the B bomb side, and also I think they were given a lot of opportunities to basically do whatever they wanted because SK didn't contest that mid area all that much. If Freeze couldn't get the first tag on someone, he would literally rotate her off, go back towards the A bomb site, and then would play it with in a kind of a trifecta defense on that A bomb side and kind of hope for the best at that point. But that gives Mouse so much room to work with. They can get up on Cat pretty easily. They can do whatever they want at that point.
Would you say it's kind of usually one or the other? Like you can give them mid control if you've got control of A, or you can give them A if you've got control of middle, or is it less that?
No, I think it's dependent on teams. You see, because
you see mid giving up quite a lot by a lot of teams. So
well, like just kind of like go 3-2 split or something like that. Yeah.
And I said this to you as well early on that SK are giving up mid, but they're also giving up A.
Yeah,
so they're setting up for retakes, which is fine if you have a plan for it. But it obviously wasn't working out for SK for a long time. And it looked like they wanted to play somewhere similar or a similar style to what Astralis do on Mirage, where they just play really passively and basically focus on having solid crossfires and
on their CT side.
Yeah, on their CT side, but it didn't quite work out. And it's an extremely hard way of playing as well. And you can see Mousesports took a bit of a different approach. They had Chris J playing aggressively on short, trying to maintain some some control over mid. For the better part of their CT half, and I think that's an easier way to go about it unless you have something really special prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to you through it. I mean, my main thing of it was just like, I don't like seeing Nico on the AWP. I just don't like it.
Upsets you.
He's so good with the rifle, but even so, when you saw him in that sandwich, he just basically switched to the Tech 9 and suddenly wrecked people, switched back to the AWP and lost the duel. So it's one of those things. But anyway, yeah, I mean,
just one of those things.
Just one of those things.
Well,
I mean, it is a map you have 2 AWPers on, and he is probably the second best guy there.
And he wouldn't have that Dust 2 clip if he didn't use the
That's very true, the jump-in shot, yeah.
Never forget.
Yeah.
Never forget. But we are going to go once again to a break before we jump into our final game of the day. And that does mean that I need to remind you about the Score Esports application. Now, I've already told you about the articles, I told you about the stats, but what you don't know is that it actually buzzes. I'm getting constant notifications now on my phone. Every single time a game goes live, you can get all of that sorted and more. Head over now to, it's available on Google Play or iOS App Store. Go grab it while we take 5, and we'll be right back with your final game of the ESL Pro League.